welcome back to 1111 True Crime. We're going over this review, my reaction to allegedly the stepdad Daniel Martel's text. Again, take it with a pinch of salt because we don't know for sure. It appears to be, according to Dolly, who I trust, he's saying that it appears to be actually Daniel Martel's account. He is the stepfather of Lilly, who is 6 years old and missing, and her little brother. And his name is Jack Sullivan, and he's only 4, so 6 and 4 years old is very little. They were last seen on May 1st and reported missing on May 2nd in Nova Scotia. I recommend watching part 1, but you could do it in any order, I suppose. While Dolly is busy verifying if this is actually the account that links up to Daniel Martel's account, which he says it does and shows on screen live, and it appears to. Daniel just simply drops this in the chat that all evidence was found by her family, meaning Malaya's. I thought he couldn't talk about evidence. So fishy.
Here and said the exact same thing that Malaya's family called in today and said. Okay, we heard about this morning on our first show when Malaya's family called in her cousin and said Malaya's on the run. She took off from her mother's house. She got Meadow and she left. She's broke CPS that she's supposed to be supervised. And
Did you see it? Let me go back real quick. We'll mute it. Where Daniel says it. It's hard to see sometimes in chat. Right here. All evidence was found by her family. And then he's saying that they're pointing at him, saying, you did this. You did this, that they're all accusing him. Okay. So there's a second part. Previous to Daniel doing this chat with Dolly, there is a gentleman, I think his name is Derwood, that has appeared on, done an interview with It's a Criming Shame, as well as called into Dolly's show on a previous live. Now, he's making the claim that he name dropped a family member's name, and it got back to Malaya, and that's what triggered her to take off with the baby somewhere. But this guy is allegedly a member of Malaya's family, yet, which is so confusing, and I don't understand this unless he just absolutely adores Daniel. He's saying, he's standing up for Daniel, saying Daniel's 100% clean. He knows this. He seems to know like all the inner workings in their relationship. I'm confused why Malaya's own family would be backing Daniel, one of the family members. But then again, if he truly knows more about Malaya's family, maybe he has concerns and believes Daniel's, I don't know. This gets confusing. But he did call in to Dolly's, and this is referring back to this when Daniel says he's telling the truth. It's just so strange that this guy, Derwood, comes out and shares this information. He could be totally legit. He seems like a very nice guy wanting to help. But now Daniel says I know him, and now Daniel's chatting and saying he's telling the truth. It's like they both came out to one right after the other, and this is all happening at once. And to be honest, we don't know who's telling the truth in any of this. I'll let you be the judge. I think I've got myself confused.
somebody knows something.
I'll agree with that.
Make sure I ain't missing anything. I don't think Daniel's lying about her running. I think he's being 100% truthful, and I do believe she has taken off, that Malaya is on the run. If it ain't, then this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, if this is all a hoax by him or somebody that has hacked his account, this is one sick joke, right? And it would require other people, so a conspiracy to do a hoax, because we have Derwood saying the exact same thing. And obviously, that's not Daniel. This guy's appearing with his face. And allegedly, this Derwood is saying that he is family to Malaya. This is wild. But yet, where's the Amber Alert? And would they actually do an Amber Alert? Or was it that they caught up with her right away and she had just broke the rule a little bit and like drove over to some place like another reservation, talked to the lawyer. Maybe her mom or her dad couldn't go. And so they were like, mm-mm. I did hear on a crime and shame after this whole thing here that Derwood is making a claim over there. He's alleging that CPS caught up with Malaya and they've removed the baby from Malaya. Again, it's all alleged. Throw some salt over your shoulder. It's a pinch of salt, you guys. A pinch of salt. But Daniel Martel is here saying he's telling the truth, referring to this Derwood, Malaya's alleged family member.
Okay, I don't know who that was. I can't. We don't know why women do anything. Why did a woman leave her kid on the side of the road today? It may be something
There he's talking about Claire Bell, who was found safe, thank God. If you oh no, that's not Daniel
going on
there.
with her
Okay.
mentally. You know, postpartum depression. Who knows exactly why she's doing what she's doing? But this man is out here speaking. He's out here giving interviews. He did pass a lie detector test. He's saying Malaya has taken off. A caller today called in and said Malaya has
Now we still don't have proof from the RCMP that he passed.
took off, broke the CPS stuff. How do they know this stuff, right? Unless it's the truth. So
It does make you wonder
I
what's
believe that
going
this is
on.
100% him, and I believe he's telling the truth, at least about.
So Daniel says, I can't dive into evidence because it's part of the investigation.
Malaya running. I can't dive into evidence because it's part of the investigation. Okay.
Okay. I said same thing Dolly did. No, now Daniel is going to, okay, so Dolly goes into trying to share with Daniel how he understands relationships work. He's also understands how manipulation works. And he's basically saying, you're not, Dolly's saying to Daniel, you're never going to get back what you had most likely. So at this point, Dolly is saying, don't let anybody throw you under the bus, right? And Daniel's saying there is no relationship anymore. And he's about to tell us that he doesn't want Malaya back. He wants Meadow, the baby, back. And if there is any truth to it that Meadow was taken by CPS, then I feel so bad for the baby to not be with either parent and no sibling. And I'm just shocked. I keep going back to this that all of this communication by Daniel and I have yet, even in part two, heard concern for Lilly or Jack's well being, which that's not good. It's just not good. It's just him saying, Daniel saying there was no relationship. Now this gets wild. Daniel explains that her family took, he alleges that her family took two of his sweaters. Now he's going to tell us later that it wasn't hoodies. He's talking sweaters. So I don't know what that means. But he says they took two of my sweaters when they left. Watch them be planted when investigators close in. This is so bizarre to me that he is suggesting that they would be used to plant, and he's saying watch them be planted when investigators close in. Planted where? Planted in what? And why would you have thought that? You just got done. You think that the children are alive, so what do you mean being planted? I am off. I can't wrap my head around that.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, this is important right here.
This is
Her
so
family
weird.
took 2 of my sweaters when they left, watched them be planted when investigations closed in.
Okay.
Okay?
Why would they take 2 sweaters? Could it. There's 2 children missing. Did somebody put Daniel's sweaters, one on each kid? Why are his sweaters missing? That is so bizarre.
Do you think they would try to frame you for something? Okay?
Have
you spoke with the RCMP and told them that they have took some of your belongings? That way, let's just pray to God there's no tragedy or nothing happens, and they find something that belongs to you there. Have you told the RCMP that they have done this?
I pray to God he has.
He's the
I'll
fall
be
guy?
told right away.
Well,
If
Daniel
it's
said he
true.
believes the kids are alive. So if they're placed somewhere and they find them and then his sweaters are there, it's going to look like he hid the kids. I think that's what he's referring to. I don't think he's talking about the kids being unalived and his sweaters being there.
But the children could talk. Lilly can talk, obviously. They're not nonverbal. We've learned that. So wouldn't the kids tell? What is this about the sweaters? And even if they are gone, why take 2 sweaters?
Because if you was going to do something, why would you leave your sweaters? You know? I mean, most people don't leave.
Yeah, I told them, says Daniel.
Purposely leave evidence. Yes, I told them. That is strange. There's some strange things going on with you, Daniel. Okay? And I'm so glad that you were speaking out about it.
Okay. So then, this is the thing. At the beginning of part 1, I believe, or right in the middle somewhere in part 1, Daniel said that he believed that the children were alive because everybody passed their polygraph test. Now, he had also said in his interview online that he was asked, did you KILL Lilly or Jack Sullivan? He said no, and he passed. So, he is assuming that when these other people passed, because he says they all passed, and he believes they were asked if they had done this, and they were like, no. So he's assuming the kids are alive. But then he comes back and he drops this, which is a contradiction that everybody's taken their polygraph test and passed, because he says her family is about to be polygraphed examined soon. So they haven't even been polygraphed. So then how can you assume that the children are alive? But this happened today. What happened today? Oh, with the baby taken off and they were Oh, so he's suggesting perhaps, just a guess, could he be suggesting that they literally, Malaya got scared to take the polygraph test, or the family did, and they took off? I don't get this. This whole thing is confused. It doesn't make sense to me.
So that to me is kind of confusing. So did you ask him that?
Oh, I mean, he can hear you. Maybe he'll answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
Okay, both of the kids are missing. 2 sweaters are missing.
I have the same questions. Like, what in the bejeebus? So then he says, no, the sweaters were taken when they left because I was up at the command center and it's a kilometer walk and I had to walk back from there. So he's suggesting that while he's at this command center, that Malaya's collecting stuff back at the house with her family, or back at the trailer, and that then when he comes back, he notices 2 sweaters are missing. How did you realize that right away? You feel me? Would you know that 2, like, I suppose if they pull them off the thing and left the hangers, and you had 2 empty hangers, you'd know. I'm not sure out of my closet, and I don't have a extraordinary, well, maybe Daniel doesn't have many clothes. He wears that tap-out shirt all the time. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I have a ton of clothes. I don't think I would notice, but Daniel maybe doesn't have very many clothes. Like I said, he's consistently in that tap-out shirt and has, that hasn't been in style in a while.
I'm going to take them away. Why? I have no idea, because they're not his biological children. So that's a little bit confusing.
Okay.
But if she wants just an out, she goes, I'm going to pick up the children, and I'm going to take them, I'm going to hide them out, and then you're going to take the baby, and we're just going to leave, and then maybe everything's getting kind of
Yeah, but why would
confusing.
you even call the police? That makes zero sense. But listen, sometimes reality.
It's a cover up. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes reality don't make sense. I mean, sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. But hey, I appreciate you calling. I want to get back to what he said.
But the whole sweater thing's got me a little confused. So
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to what he's got to say.
Okay.
But thank you.
All right, peace. So this addresses the sweater right here.
Weird.
He says that they took the sweaters. Let me pull this back up. Man, I'm having some technical issues here. All right, here we go. Now I can see again. Yeah, they took the sweaters when he was at the command center because he had to walk back. Okay. And I guess when he got home, he realized that there were some things missing. All right, let me see this.
That is so strange.
Malaya was scared of her bio dad. Okay. Not so much her mother then, but her bio dad.
Right here, you're going to find out that he is referring to a second time of the children's bio dad, not Malaya's bio dad. He's talking about Lilly and Jack Sullivan's dad. So that's the second time. It's almost like he wants to build a villain up that could be an alternate suspect, in my opinion. That's what I'm suspicious of. Because I'm just saying, it just seems strange to keep throwing that out there like a bone to the dog on the whodunit case.
And I believe he is the native one. Okay. And I've heard some things about her bio dad that he was a little bit a mean guy and he had some domestic.
And I think Dolly's interpreting it to mean that we're talking about Malaya's dad, but we're not, because if we keep going in just a minute, Daniel clarifies that he's talking about the children's bio dad too. If it's not on this one, it's on the next one. Must be on the next one. Let's continue. Yeah, scared of the kids' bio dad. See what I'm saying?
Scared of the kids' bio dad.
Right, exactly. So that's bizarre to me.
Scared of the kids' bio dad.
Yeah.
Dolly. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
I was wanting to actually speak directly to Daniel because I know he's listening and watching.
Uh-huh.
All right. Look, Daniel.
Sorry. Oh, here it is about the sweater. One blue sweater and one white. So he's clarifying about the sweaters.
She was up at 6:15, 6:18
one
on
blue sweater,
contact with the school.
one white.
Okay.
So he
And
knows
I was wondering if Daniel can actually
that those
tell us
sweaters
if
are
he knows
missing.
what happened between 6:18 and the time they both woke up and looked at the kids.
Uh-huh.
Because if she was up at 6:15 and she woke him up at 8:30, or he woke her up at 8:30, that's 2.5 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe he can answer that. I thought from his text messages that he shared with the Canadian girls that she never called the school.
No,
She
he said
did
she was
call the
on
school.
email with the school, and the last confirmation that the school sent back to her was 6:18.
Okay, I must have
Yep.
missed that somehow. I must have skipped that
And
somewhere
Daniel's going to
in all of this
confirm
because there's so
it.
much being said and so many rumors and so many different things that I may have
If
missed
it's
that.
Daniel.
So if he wants to answer, we'll give him a chance to answer. But hey, I appreciate you calling.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace.
Okay,
All right, we got a lot of damn calls coming in, and I understand everybody. This is a huge mystery, and I'm sure everybody has a question.
Let's just skip ahead real quick till we see where Daniel answers that timeline. Daniel.
And ran in a situation where
right there. 617 and 618 marked absent. So yeah. It's still, this is the same information we were hearing from Daniel in those other text messages. So here's Dolly, and again, he's trying to show that this
and this
is really
information is not coming from me.
Daniel's
You don't
page.
hear me up here saying, "Hey, I know this woman's on the run." You know what I'm saying? This is what these people are saying. She broke unsupervised vision protocol by CPS. Meadow will be taken.
And that Derwood was over the alleged cousin to Malaya. He's alleging on the interview where he called in to, it's a criming shame that CPS caught up with Malaya right away, and Meadow is no longer in Malaya's custody. It's alleged. I don't know if it's true or not.
All right, it's simple as that. And Yeah, I don't have any reason to make anything up. I can go right here, spam him. Okay, like that must be an old comment, but this right here, go to channel. Right? Do I need to show y'all this? Right, but it goes right to his channel. So every time I click on it, it goes right to his channel. All right. So it is Daniel. This is the channel that it goes to. I don't want to have to keep explaining that to people. You don't have to believe it. I'm not forcing you to believe anything. We're giving the man the opportunity to talk, and don't come in here messing that up.
So Daniel is referring to Derwood, all right? And Daniel says, I know the guy that said she was on the run. I was the one that told investigators. That's interesting.
I mean, it's coming from his account. That's all I can say. If it's him, I believe it's him, because he's saying exactly what the caller said that they were cousins.
Yeah. It most likely is, but we have to realize we don't have proof, right?
Investigation unit tomorrow, and I'd like to know what they said when and how everybody knows. She's not mom's. I tried calling investigators a few hours later, still no answer back.
That's interesting. Daniel's trying his best to catch up with her, if this is Daniel, right? I'm sure if this is true, he's worried about the baby.
That way we can at least see when he...
Investigators usually call back, says Daniel. Where does he see it? That in chat. Right there. Okay. Okay. So let's see what he's saying. Yeah.
What is your meeting with the crime unit, RCM, major crime? What is that about tomorrow? Can you tell us that? I know you said you're supposed to speak with them tomorrow.
I thought it was CPS.
Does it have anything to do with the investigation or the behavior of Malaya?
I think Daniel's going to say.
Okay,
so Dolly
please
switched
limit
it
your
to
typing
members
numbers. Thank you,
mode
Sage.
to be able to talk
So,
to Daniel.
Has the RCMP told you not to discuss this? Or is it one of those situations where they said just don't give out any confidential information? Like there's certain things they don't want you saying to the media or the press.
Okay. We're going to pause it right there and skip ahead till we see Daniel's answer. Daniel says, no, it's CPS. So he has an interview with CPS. And then he says, granting supervised visits with Meadow. Okay. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. No evidence can be given out. So he's saying, Dolly was asking, what does the RCMP tell you not to talk about? And Daniel's saying the evidence, and he's saying he has a CPS visit supposed to have to be able to see Meadow tomorrow. He was getting granted the ability to visit Meadow, and now, well, if Derwood is telling the truth, and this is actually Daniel, then if CPS has Meadow, will Daniel actually get to see Meadow under supervised visit? Will they both be having to come see Meadow? Who is Meadow going to go to now, if this is all true? Oh, this is wild. I'm trying to keep up, y'all. So, again, he says no evidence can be given out.
Well, I guess a little bit of that leaked in the in that news report you just did, with the blanket and the boot print on that situation. Let me ask you this: the boot print and the blanket. When did you find that? Like, how long had they been gone when you found the boot print and the blanket? Now, I do know you said there were some boot prints about 10 feet away from the back sliding glass door, but when did you find the boot print that was near the blanket? And exactly where was that at in proximity to your house?
Daniel says her family made shit up to CPS.
Her family made shit up to the CPS. I knew that. I knew. I don't know what they accused you of, but I knew they were accusing you of something.
So that would have put Daniel under investigation if that were true.
Okay. Now, hopefully it ain't nothing too terribly bad. But I knew that. I was thinking, okay, if they're giving him supervised visitations, they're saying he's done something. because they wouldn't just do that any other way. Now, if he was charged with something, of course they would, supervise visitations. But I knew it had to be a.
It's kind of bothering me that he said that they all were pointing at him, saying, "You did this." What are they saying Daniel did? What are they accusing him of? If they're accusing him of anything, they must be. Otherwise, like, why would he have supervised visits? If he even gets them with his own children that aren't even Malaya's. And now will he get to see Meadow? It's like going in a circle. So here Daniel is saying that her family found everything and got CPS involved and started disturbance outside the house. So my question would be this. Why is everything being pushed out and blaming everybody else? Is it true that this entire family of Malaya's is just absolutely out to put it all on Daniel? I don't know. We haven't heard from Daniel, from Malaya's family at all. So this is so one-sided because we're not hearing. But at the same token, Malaya is choosing not to provide her side of the story. She's remaining silent. So there is a $150,000 reward for whoever, up to $150,000 reward for the one that helps lead to find Lilly and Jack. If these children are alive, that's a lot of money. It could be quite an incentive to actually talk. I pray someone does.
They yelled, "I did it." Malaya's mother yelled that. How much
They yelled, "I did it," right here.
of her family was out there? Was it just her and her mother? Or did she have like uncles and cousins? Or was it just her and her mother, and her mother was yelling, "You did it"?
Kept saying, "I did it," down on the bottom. Wow.
Kept saying, "I did it." Okay. So they were on it. Like, "You did it, you piece of shit." I'm sure there was some name calling in there. I just threw.
So let's go ahead and see what this one's about.
Her family thought it.
Her family thought it was a fun family reunion. No tears. Again, it's all about throwing mud. It's not. We're this deep into this, and I'm on part 2. And there's no concern for Lilly, who's only 6. It's been well over a month. No concern for Jack, who's only 4. It's all about this mudslinging. That's so disheartening.
It was a fun family reunion. No tears.
And if that's true, why would nobody be cheering? I don't get this. I don't know what to think anymore. So, Daniel's still hung up on this relationship stuff, right? No, Malaya was hugging and kissing me up to 5 minutes before she talked privately with her mom. After that, Malaya kept saying, "I have to leave with mom. I have to leave with mom." Did her mother show her or tell her something? Or was somebody else? How does Daniel know that when Malaya was talking to her mother that they were alone? Did he have eyes on her? Or did Malaya step away with the mother, but someone asked Malaya a question on evidence that triggered her? There's so much I would like answered in this.
After that, Malaya kept saying, "I have to leave with mom. I have to leave with mom."
Let's go ahead and scoot ahead till the next time we see what Daniel says. Daniel says, "Our CMP said drug test was not a concern, I asked." And then he says he volunteered for a drug test. Again, we don't know It's coming from Daniel. We don't have anything from the RCMP that says it's true or not, so we really don't know. What does he say here? No, Malaya only did weed. Okay, so he's saying about the answers to the rugs, because Dolly's going to ask him, were drugs being used in the home? And Daniel said no, right?
Before, no, Malaya only did weed. Okay, now I know this. Weed ain't making you do nothing that crazy. Okay, we can't blame
For
it.
real. So Daniel's hung up on the whole mother thing. And this was just, it wasn't prompted. He just threw it out there. Her mother controls her doing the media. But Dolly is asking about this whole status thing. Why is this alleged that the children weren't being granted national native status until after they went missing? But after both Lily and Jack went missing, it's being alleged that they were given status. And Daniel's saying the chief's brother is her lawyer. And I think we knew that part, right?
Her mother controls her doing media. Yeah, well, she ain't done any media. So she must be doing a pretty damn good job at controlling that, because Malaya hasn't really said anything. And that is one of the reasons there's so much speculation around everything that's going on, is because of Malaya. Now, if she was standing by your side and y'all were out there crying, and most people would be rally behind you. Thousands and thousands of people.
I agree 1,000% with that, Dolly. I really, really do. He says, granted status, yes, but denied many times before, right down here. That is so bizarre. That is strange to me. I don't know how it works, but others seem to think that that's strange as well, not just me. So Daniel goes on to say,
MP or federal, so no protection on reservations. Okay, so they can go right up on the reservations. But one thing I found about reservations, especially some of these ones in California, they are massive. Like,
I didn't know that. So Daniel's hung up on this whole media thing. She tells reporters to leave and says Malaya is not doing media. And we've heard that before. Daniel goes on to say she only asks, okay, check this out. Daniel says she only asked for kids' birth certificate and school pics and took 2 stuffed animals. That's all. Everything Malaya owns is still there. He's saying here, meaning at the trailer. Now, what's weird is we're going to hear from this alleged Daniel that these are not stuffed animals for Meadow, but are stuffed animals for Lily and Jack. Does she want them just to remember the children by? Or is there like is that hope that these children are alive and they wanted their favorite animals?
she only asked for kids' birth certificates and school pics and 2 stuffed animals. That's all. Everything Malaya owns is still here. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. That's wild. That is wild. I'm looking to see if there was any more on that one. No, we're getting there. We're getting there. Reporters tell me, and we don't know what he's referring to. Daniel just comes out with
Reporters tell you? I bet they will, because you're talking to them and she's not. And I guarantee all the reporters that have reached out to you have tried to reach out to her too.
That's true. I agree with that. Okay. He says yes, 2 sweaters, but then he put LOL. And he does clarify, no, they were Lily and Jack's animals, stuffed animals. That is so bizarre to me.
Yes,
Let me know what you think. Do you think that's strange? Or do you think maybe they're comforting her to have something of the children's? Or is that strange to you guys? And what about the birth certificates? What do you need the birth certificates for? Of course, do you need that? What do you need that for?
sweaters, LOL. What type of sweaters? Do you know? Did they say anything? What was on the sweaters? Can you describe the sweaters to us? These sweaters that she took?
Yeah, they were not hoodies, right? Let's see where else Daniel talks. What did he just say? Yes, 2 sweaters. Lily and Jack's animals. And yeah, that's so strange. Now, I don't agree with this. After I shared what Daniel had said, where he says that you don't need a passport to leave the country, a lot of what I'm learning is that you do need a passport. That your status look at you inside, but to go to another country, that you also need your passport. And if you're taking children across, you need written consent from the parents to be able to do that. From both parents. I'm not sure that's true. My son went into Canada and only I had to get permission, the mother. I had to write it for grandma and grandpa. So I'm not sure if you'd have to have that information or not. Not hoodies, he says. Okay. We're just going to speed along. I may miss something. It's just, there's so much. Go watch Dolly Vision. And yes, it's under members, but he did such a good interview. And I mean, there's a lot to this. It's mind numbing, right? If it's true. Again, I disagree with this whole status thing stating that you don't need a passport. I disagree now with that after what I'm learning. Daniel says can cross into USA with status cards right here. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, but I just don't think so.
She headed to federal prison. Are you saying she's headed to federal prison?
Daniel is actually saying, if it's Daniel, that Malia's headed to federal prison.
He said they were not hoodies. Okay, so they were regular sweaters.
Right,
Okay.
right. So I'm gonna let Dolly handle this part, and then Daniel, I think, thought he could talk his way into Dolly Vision's heart and the rest of our hearts, that we wouldn't doubt him. But he never showed his face. He never used his voice. And so that alone is going to, make your bullshit meter go off. Yes, it appears to be his account, but he hasn't been cleared by the RCMP. So I don't think you can talk your way out of it, Daniel. I really don't.
It's going to be one of these situations where you get your daughter and you let her pay the price on her own. And I know that's a hard one. It's a hard one to even ask you, because I know love is a powerful thing. I'm jumping off. It's 3:30. Honestly, it's a trait that's hard to find, and you found it. How would I make this much shit up?
Good point by Daniel. How would he make this much shit up? Well, you could. A person could make it up, especially when the story changes so often.
Okay, Daniel, listen. You get you some rest, man, and you're more than welcome anytime to come up. Make sure you sub the channel. You have a mod wrench here, so we know it's you.
Yeah, I saw someone posted he goes from suspect to mod in one night. So he signs off, Daniel signs off saying, I gotta deal with investigators tomorrow, CPS and media. So maybe there's more interviews coming. And he does leave this little tacked on a note. And right down here, you can see it. He says, me and Meadow will visit her in prison. That's just wild to me. How much information, if this is Daniel, actually came out. Well, you guys, I appreciate your time so incredibly much. I pray that Lily and Jack Sullivan are found safe and sound if at all possible. Keep hope alive. We did have that miracle with Claire Bell, who was found safe. And so you just never know. Doesn't look good for Lily and Jack, being it's been well over a month. But hopefully, this all put pressure on whoever knows what happened to these children, if anybody knows. I just highly doubt that they walked off into the woods. Do I believe Daniel? Not really, not on a lot of things. I don't trust him. Do I believe Malaya? No. Not even the one interview she gave. I don't know if it's true if Malaya took off with the baby. I don't know if CPS has the baby. I don't even know if any of these people are telling us the truth. All I know is I really want the truth to be known. I'm going to keep sharing the information on the case. Make sure you sub up and hit that bell so that you know when I go live or release a video. And I thank you so incredibly much for your time, and I love you to the moon and back. Don't forget to hit that like button. See you again very soon.